I finally got to reading To Selena with Love by Perez, and these are a few things that I learned. She was impulsive. I knew that she loved shopping for clothes, but I didn't know that she was an impulsive buyer. If she saw a car, she liked that car, she would go and buy it. And once Chris had his motorcycle, and he wanted to try just going around a vacant space. And then she felt the impulse that she could ride home. And she was telling Chris, please, please. And he gave in. There was no telling Selena no, so she took them all the way to the house. She had a big love for animals. She didn't just have, I think, 5, 6 dogs. She also had fish, she had mice, she had a snake. Well, that was Chris' snake, but she saw a dog and it was cute. She'd go and buy it. The bungee jumping that we see in the biopic Selena was actually real, and she actually got hurt. There was a rumor that Selena was taking folic acid because she was pregnant at the time of death. But Chris explains that she was taking folic acid because she heard that folic acid is good for the for the healthiness of your hair. So she used it for that. Another thing, I think we all know that Abraham, Selena's father, was very protective of her and made sure that her image was very clean. I wouldn't doubt maybe the word controlling would be for some to describe her dad. But I have to honestly say there was a lot of times where I felt conflicted about her dad. There were times where I'm like, well, maybe he is being, a little extra, but that's a protective dad. And then there were times where I was like, all right, if according to what Chris said is true, there were times where I'm like, what is this? I'm gonna read a short part in the book where Abraham goes and visits Selena at Chris and Selena's apartment. And this is what happens. Things started quietly as a discussion. I could hear them talking in the kitchen because the apartment was such an open space, but rapidly escalated into another full-blown argument. If Selena made up her mind about something, it was very hard to get her to change it. And once Abraham didn't like something, he would do everything in his power to try to force people to do things his way. So interactions between them could be pretty intense. Often, it really scared me when they started arguing. You can't always tell me what to do, Selena cried, and that's when I decided that I needed to intervene. I went into the kitchen and saw that Selena had lost it. She was trying to talk, but she was crying so hard that she couldn't take a breath. What's going on here? I asked, looking from Selena to her father. Abraham turned and looked at me. What are you doing to her? He shouted. What are you talking about? This is all you right here, I said. Selena sank down to the floor and folded into herself, still sobbing. And then he says that Abraham left and shut the door behind him. And there's another instance that Abraham wanted to talk. He's having a conversation with Abraham, and they're having a peaceful conversation. And then a few days later, Selena tells him, you need to apologize to my dad for what you told him. And he's like, what are you talking about? We were cool, basically we were cool. Like, what are you talking about? And she was saying that I'm not going to allow you to disrespect my father. So just went and apologized. And I mentioned that he does a little smile like he won. Like he won the power stroke. Something that I didn't know is that Chris says that there were about 3 attempts from Yolanda to Selena before she actually did. The day before it actually happened, Selena went to see Yolanda, but with Chris. So he feels like that was something that impeded it from happening. And then he was going to go with her again, but Yolanda called her and Chris was asleep and Selena just went without him. And what happened happened. Also, another thing that we read in this book is that she actually considered separating from Chris. They just weren't seeing each other as much. They were kind of annoying one another, weren't seeing each other as much anymore. Selena was working extensively until one day, and she even went to talk about this with Abby, but Abby told her, I'm just gonna ask you one question. If one day you were to see Chris walking and he's with another woman, holding hands, how would you feel? What would you think? And she said, oh, that is not happening. And that's how she knew. She still loved Chris. So they decided to work things out, and they were in their second phase of a honeymoon, doing the things that they had done in the beginning. And lastly, one thing that I really, really enjoyed about this book is I really love learning about Selena's work ethic. If I'm being honest, as much as I've admired Selena, I think a lot of us can't help thinking that she's a product of what her father made her do, perform, which she loved. But it was really beautiful for me to see. It was very nice for me to see that even though fashion was her greatest love, she studied. She was extremely serious about the work she put out. And I thought that was very admirable. It was very cool. It was very nice to see that she wasn't just daddy's girl, which is alright, but I was able to see her as her own woman, especially being that she died so young at 23. So for me, that was a treat. It was a treat to see her stand up to her dad sometimes. Oh, dad, I'm gonna do this. Because a lot of times, before reading this book, a lot of times I felt like she just had to follow what her dad said. But it was nice to see that she was her own woman. I love that. It was very nice seeing Chris bring her in another light, but not a light that was bad, but just the light that was more complete, a more complete version of her.